haven't heard much about the assassination of Yahya Sinwar, especially at least from Lebanese officials. However, one thing to keep in mind is the fact that these organizations, be it Hamas, be it Hezbollah, despite this complete disarray that they've had over the past few months with the series of assassinations that both leadership of both organizations have taken within the recent times, they are somehow are still being able to function in some sort of guerrilla warfare mood. So so this is what media and people close to Hezbollah are saying, is that the death of Yahya Sinwar and the death of Hamad Date before him and the assassination of Hassan Nasrallah here in Lebanon, at least they claim it does not change the course of the war and the course of what's going on, and that the only ceasefire for this war, the only option for this war to end, is a ceasefire that Israel accepts on both fronts. So this is the stance of Hezbollah, its supporters, its moral base, and even those around it, that all those assassinations which Israel has been conducting over the past month, be it in Gaza or in Lebanon, does not change the course of the war.
And visiting Lebanon today is Giorgia Meloni, the Italian Prime Minister, and the main aim of her visit is to support the UNIFIL peacekeepers in the south of the country. The UN troops are digging in. They're refusing to withdraw from that zone as requested by the Israeli military. Can you tell us more about this?
So we know for a fact that Giorgia Meloni is expected to meet first with the King of Jordan shortly. She will be meeting with him in Jordan, in Aqaba. Afterwards, she will be flying directly here to Lebanon to meet with the caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati. Now, since assuming office, Meloni has had a lot of contacts both in Lebanon and as well as in Syria. Just to remind our viewers that Italy was one of the first European countries to re-establish a line of communication with the Syrian president and his regime, Bashar al-Assad, as well as to frequently visit Lebanon. She was in Lebanon only a few months back, trying to seek de-escalation between Lebanon and Israel, playing an important role in trying to deal with the refugee crisis. So this is not Meloni's first trip to Lebanon, but this is coming at a time when UNIFIL, the peacekeeping force which is responsible for maintaining peace along the Blue Line, which is the border between southern Lebanon and northern Israel, has been attacked multiple times or caught in the middle of fire between the two parties, Hezbollah and Israel. It was asked to evacuate its positions in southern Lebanon, yet UNIFIL has refused. So we have 1,000 Italian soldiers within UNIFIL, so that is a very significant number. These soldiers are, like all other soldiers of UNIFIL, caught between that crossfire and in danger, not being able to properly do their job and issue regular reports of the situation on the ground and maintaining peace. So first and foremost, it is a visit aimed at empowering UNIFIL and the Italian battalion there. Although, according to my own information, Meloni will not be going south and will not be meeting any Italian soldier within the battalion, yet that is the main concern of the visit, as well as de-escalation, as well as considering a solution for the refugee crisis, which was already existing here in Lebanon before the war when it comes to Syrian refugees, as well as now the internally displaced people here in Lebanon.
And one final question. Lebanon yesterday confirmed its first case of cholera since the war began. And the World Health Organization is warning about the very present danger of an epidemic, given there are 1.2 million displaced people living in conditions of poor sanitation. Can you tell us more about this?
So we know for a fact that we have 1.2 million people who are internally displaced, out of which 200,000 people are living in evacuation centers provided for by the government. These centers are overcrowded, limited bathrooms. In terms of the people who are living on the streets, they are mostly either Palestinian refugees or Syrian refugees, because the government gave a priority to for Lebanese citizens when it comes to the centers. However, when it comes to the cholera outbreak in particular, yes, the WHO is concerned. But just to let our viewers know, this is not the first time Lebanon detects cholera cases within the past few years. Only a few years backwards, in the northern part of Lebanon, there was a spread of cholera in a very small geographical district in Akka. It was pretty well handled by the hospitalization sector and by the World Health Organization itself, along with the Ministry of Public Health, and that cholera outbreak was contained rapidly. So yes, Lebanon did detect the first cholera outbreak when it comes to those who are internally displaced and living in dire conditions. And yes, Lebanon needs support and protection against that cholera outbreak. However, according to my own conversations with the Ministry of Health, is that it is not yet something major that Lebanon should worry about, and that Lebanon has the infrastructure to deal with any cholera outbreak before it actually starts.
Thank you very much for that, Rawad Taha in Beirut.